Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It's 3:45 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. All right, the big conversation of the day is abolishing the police. Abolishing the police. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean what it sounds like it means? Defunding the police. What does that involve? What are we talking about? I've been trying to get the answers to this all morning. I looked up the Democrats' presentation of their ideas, and it involves anti-lynching laws, banning chokeholds. Great idea. Um, More training. I have not read. I could not find information on abolishing the police and what that would involve and how you would possibly. Let me present this idea here. We all would drive cars, right? We've all been on the highway. There's always every single person out there has been driving down the road. Even most of us go a little over the speed limit, right? Say the speed limit's 65. A lot of us still do 70, 75, maybe even 80. And every single one of us will see some idiot flying by doing 100, a buck 10, a buck or more. We've all seen it probably on a daily basis. How do we all feel when that guy goes by? I hope there's a cop up there. I pray to God there's a cop up there. Okay? That's a situation where people are going, no matter if you're a good person, a bad person, a man, a woman, you're black or white, some people are heavy footed and will step on that gas. A lot of people. And it's dangerous. I don't care. Do not give me the excuse that you're a good driver or any of that crap. Going 100, 110 on a highway. I've done it. I got a ticket in New Jersey when I was 23 years old on the turnpike going 114 miles an hour. And I got in quite a considerable amount of trouble for that. They set up roadblocks. I was driving a 73 Formula Firebird. A lot of trouble for that. But okay, that's an instance where we need the police. We need people to watch over the highways, or there will be more deaths and much more tragic, traumatic deaths if there isn't law enforcement on highways. I see all these ideas thrown out there, and it's become the fashionable thing. Now, I am completely 100% with the Black Lives Matter movement. But let's be realistic. Let's talk realistically here. You know, abolishing the police, it sounds great, but let's talk about it. Reform sounds good. I don't understand how abolishing the police. You talk about social workers. Social workers aren't going to do any good on the highway, like I just talked about. Now, let me talk about something else I know about, drug addiction. I'm going to go from one side to the other side. One reason I could somewhat empathize with minorities, with black people, is the way I was treated and my fellow drug addicts were treated. I know it's a scary thing to say this because I'm not a black person and I don't know 100% what they're treated like, but I'm going to tell you what I saw. I've been sat down on the ground on a curb and I could see the cops all around my friend. I had my head down because they threatened to knock my teeth out, do ungodly things to me. Swear to God. We got pulled over after we bought some drugs, a small amount of drugs. They never found the drugs, by the way. Well, we did buy them. They were hidden in a soda, a can of soda that was thrown on the ground. And my friends, after they got out of the jail, went back and picked them up. I didn't, but they did. So the whole point of that being pulled over was pointless. As I was looking down, I saw my friend's feet come up off the ground as they held him by the neck, pinned him against my car, and slammed his head into the side of my car where it dented the roof with his skull. At least four cops all around him, and I saw his feet shaking as these four cops just beat the holy hell out of him. I did not look up because I was afraid I was gonna lose my teeth if I looked up and watched this. I just kept looking down and I just watched his feet shaking off the ground. One reason I can understand police being frustrated, they found a needle on him. They get very angry when they find a needle. A lot of times I think police are more inclined to use any tactic they want with drug users like I was, is because people don't believe drug users. We are disassociated in most times from our family and from society. Nobody's going to believe us, and we're not going to report it. We just want to get back to our drugs. So they could pretty much beat the holy hell out of us, and nobody's really going to care or make a peep about it. And that's the truth. It's happened to me. It's happened to me about 5 or 6 times. I was threatened. I can't even say the stuff that I was threatened and it was done to me when I was using. A lot of times, let me tell you the truth, I had to commit crimes on a daily basis, felonies. I was a good guy. I am a good man, but I was in addiction. And being an addict, once you're an addict, you are in a hell that you can't get out of. I remember crying, bawling my eyes out on a daily basis because I did not want to do what I had to do that day. If I didn't go out and commit felonies, I would get ungodly sick. And sick beyond, this is a kind of sick that a lot of people have no comprehension. The depression, the suicidal thoughts, the blackness, the throwing up, diarrhea, not sleeping for 2 weeks. And when I say not sleeping, I mean not 5 minutes. It's a kind of torture you can't even imagine. How do you deal with this? How do you deal this? Because when I was using, I couldn't stop. And it's a physiological part of my brain that I couldn't stop myself. And it would involve, especially the people around me. I had a hard time. I was more of what you would just call a liar. I would use my personality and my mouth to get money. And I was good at it. Manipulation. I did it on a daily basis. And I would get at least $100, $200 a day just by manipulating people. I'm not proud of that. But it makes me be able, like I told you guys in prior videos, bad things that have happened in my life that I've done, I want to use them now for a positive purpose. And I could spot this in other people, and I can help other people now. Anyway, this all being said, now let's talk about drugs. Drugs aren't going to go away. The public is not equipped to deal with this level of drug use from the basic addict who is getting his ass kicked on a daily basis by the police. And like I said, a lot of times I think I might be able to empathize slightly with what some black people go through. Because like I said, we'd had to accept getting our asses beat badly whenever we encountered the police. And it was just a cost of doing business, of doing what we needed to do. So we couldn't talk about it. It was scary. It was brutal. That same day when I saw my friend's feet off the ground, the police tore my car apart. And I mean they used hammers and tore the dashboard off, tore the console out, tore the seats out. They then told me to get in that car and drive away and never look back. So I had to sit on the floor. The seats were torn out. It was a terrible experience. And I look back at it as a lot of times I blame myself. It's my own fault. I was buying drugs. But I've seen police violence firsthand. Now, how do you stop drugs? From the addict all the way up to the dealer. This goes on every day all across the country, and it's a huge problem. A lot of the embezzlement, the stealing, murder, rape, all tied into drugs. Drugs are a huge problem. from you would need social workers. More social workers would help at the bottom with the addiction level, like where I was. But when you go up to the distribution, the street dealers and above, you're going to need some heavy, knowledgeable, well-equipped police to do that job. Social workers ain't going to be able to take down the higher level drug dealers who are equipped and well armed. It's no movie. It's real life. Like I was told you guys in a video yesterday, I used to go down to the Bronx and South Bronx, and Uzis, Mac 10s, Tech 9s were just all over the place. I shot them. Social workers aren't going to help with that aspect. So what's the answer? It's not an easy answer. All I'm saying here is, having been through this addiction and seeing all the aspects of drug use, there's a lot that's needed from social workers at the bottom with the basic addict. That would help. That would help free up the important stuff, the street level dealing. And the street level dealing isn't even the biggest problem. Sincerely, I don't know how you stop this. I think treatment, without a doubt. Once you stop the addict from buying it, the money goes out of the whole thing and it collapses on itself. Treatment at the bottom with the basic dealer, instead of throwing him, brutalizing him, and throwing him in jail, would be getting him into treatment. And that's not easy, because I resisted it at all costs until I hit the bottom. And part of the bottom was the threat of police and jail. So, this is it's a hard subject. I don't see an easy answer for this. There's a lot of cases in society where we need people that are equipped to deal with violence. And there's going to be cases where violence is going to have to be threatened when you're dealing with higher level with drugs. It's part of the it's just part of the game, the deal. And again, just as off the top of my head, traffic enforcement. We've all been on the highway. If you defund the police and you take those state cops off the highway, or just the regular cops, then everybody's driving over 100 miles. Not everybody, but there's going to be people going to be driving over 100 miles an hour on these stretches of road, 110. And let me tell you, Connecticut roads are not made to drive 110 miles an hour. These roads have been here for hundreds of years. They are not made for going over 100 miles an hour. Let me tell you that. And a lot of these trees that you're going to hit have been here for about 200 years too. So it's a hard subject. It is. The whole defund the police, abolish the police, I understand. It sounds good, but there's a lot to it. That's all I'm saying. Just presenting this here. I don't have all the answers. I don't know. All right. You guys have a good Tuesday.